discreet.
All right. Well, thank you, Jane. Planning what happens to your estate when you pass away clears up a lot of confusion and stress for the loved ones that you leave behind. Unfortunately, my next guest says many Americans actually die each year without a will. Lori Ashmore Peters is from the Ashmore Law Firm and joins me to discuss why it is so important. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so why does someone need a will? Let's start there.
The short answer is, how do you want to be remembered?
Right.
Dying sucks.
Yeah.
So why do you want to make it harder for the loved ones you leave behind? I can't tell you how many times we get a call. Someone just lost their loved one. They are stricken with grief. They're sad. They're overwhelmed. They don't know where to start, what to do.
Right.
I tell them, first thing, breathe.
Yeah.
Fast forward 30, 60 days later, I get that same person calling me, and now bitterness and anger has taken over their voice because their loved one died without a will and left them with a complete mess. So do you want to be remembered as the loving family member and for all the great memories, or with bitterness and anger?
Right, the person who caused stress after they
Yes.
left. Okay, you just said it. You want to be remembered for the good times and the love that we had for our families. So what does a will do as far as it's for eliminating stress, but what does it do as far as our family goes?
So let me tell you what happens if you do not have a will.
Okay.
The state of Texas and a judge controls everything.
Oh gosh.
They decide who manages your estate. They decide who gets your hard-earned money and property.
Wow.
They make all of the decisions. If you have minor child, they decide who takes possession of your minor children and how their money is spent.
Really?
If you have a blended family, I get this call so many times. Wife just lost her husband. They'd been married 20 years, bought a house, living in it for 19 years, and I have to tell her, you do not own the house. You own half of it, with the other half being owned by his children. It is never a good situation. With a will, you make your own decisions, you stay in control, you decide where does your money go, where does your property go, where do your children go.
You can even make it detailed, so if it does go to the children at a certain age. Or,
Yes.
I think this is a hard conversation to have because people don't want to talk about death even though it's inevitable, you know what I
Yes,
mean?
yep.
And so it's hard to look toward the future and think like, what are my kids going to do without me? You know what I mean? It's tough.
You are right.
So let's talk about, because Britney Spears and her guardianship was all in the news last year. So tell me what a guardianship is for someone who doesn't know.
So there are so many reasons for a guardianship. First, if you have an incapacitated or disabled adult child, you need a guardianship. If you have a loved one who's suffering from Alzheimer's or dementia, you need a guardianship. I have to tell my clients, for estate planning, do not ever designate your minor children to receive any money or property, because you are triggering a guardianship.
Got it.
It is expensive because the court supervises everything until that child is 18 years old, and the judge decides what the money is spent on and what it cannot be spent for.
Wow. Okay, there's a lot of loopholes in this situation, which I think is the tough part, but you guys have made it easy because they actually wrote 2 books that you guys are actually offering to our viewers for free.
We are. We
love free.
are. Yes, yes.
How exciting is that? Okay, so, and the book talks about why we need a will,
Yes.
estate planning, all of the ins and outs, right?
Yes, it does. It talks about all of that. And here's what I tell people. You know, some people think that estate planning is just, you know, they don't want to have to think about it. It's daunting. It can be very smooth if you go to the right person. The estate plan includes your will, but more importantly, it includes trusts and other documents so that you don't have to pay your dear old Uncle Sam up to 40% of your hard-earned assets.
Amen to that. Amen to
Absolutely.
that. All right. Well, if you or someone you know would like a free copy of these books, please call the Ashmore Law Firm at 469-972-WILL, W-I-L-L. That's 469-972-WILL. Or you can scan the QR code that's actually on your screen right now. You can also schedule a confidential consultation. This is a conversation I'm going to have because I didn't even know I needed to talk about this, but here we are. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.